In the same chain of formatting, you can also decide to format or to resize your rows and columns by using two ways. The first way by which you are able to resize your column or your row is either by adjusting or clicking and dragging the line separating the columns or the two columns or rows, or you can also decide to use the format menu that is shown on your worksheet. Now let us start with the first method, which is by increasing the size of the row or column by either dragging the line separating the two columns or rows. Suppose I want to change or to increase the size of the column between this D column and E column. So what I have to do is, between D and E, there is a line. This is the line that is used to separate the column D and E. So I click on this line, and then I start to drag to the position where I want. Now I can see that my D column is increased in size, and E remains to be the same. Suppose I want also to increase the width of the column E. What I do, I go to the line that separates E and F. Here in between, I see a line. So I click on the line, then I move it to the right. So I'll see D being increased in size and the E being increased in size. So suppose I also want to decrease the size of the column. To decrease the size of the column, I can also come back to the line separating the two columns. Then I drag it to the left. So in this case, D is reduced in size. To decrease the size of D column, I come back to the line separating D and F. So I move it to the left, drag it to the left. So now D is decreased in size and E is decreased in size. The same operation can be done by using the format point here, which will allow you to format your rows and columns accordingly. So if I click on format, I have a row change. I can change the row height. I can change the column height. Let me change the column height first by using this option. So if I click on column width, it will give me the width of the column here as 8.43. Now if I decided to put it to 20 and say OK, then the column between D and E will be increased to a width of 20. So now if I see column G is increased to the width because column G is the one which was selected. Now let me try to increase the width of the column M that I select here. So what I do is go to format, then click the column. I change 8.3, which is default, and put it 20. And then come back to C. I see the column M being increased in size. Suppose I want to increase the width of the column P. Now P is small. You can see it is small in size. Now I go to format, change the column from 8 to 15. Then say OK. Automatically the width of the column P will now increase. Likewise, you can do the same operation to the rows. Suppose I want to increase the row width from between 12 and 11. So what I do, I go to the line separating the rows 11 and 12, then click on the line and drag it down. So now this column number 10 is increased, row number 10 is increased in size. Suppose I want to increase the row number 12. So this is 12. This is the row number 12. Now I want to increase the width. So I click on the line separating 12 and 13. Now I drag it downward. Now the row is increased. This operation can also be done by using the same format menu. Let us take the row 30 and 31. Suppose I want to increase the row of 30. What I click on 30 and then go to format. So go to row height, increase from 15 to say 25. So if I click on OK, now this will be increased in size. If I want to change the width of the row 31, I select the row 31 and then go to format, go to row, change from 15 to 45. It will be increased 3 times. So now you see it is increased 3 times.